discuss another interesting poem. It's an interesting poem, amusing poem, as well as an important poem in the syllabus. Two's Company by Raymond Wilson. Two's Company. Two's means two people or two figures. Company means a kind of a friendship, relationship, or a strong bond. So that means in this poem we are going to talk about the relationship, friendship, or strong bond between two people or two figures. So that is the idea you get from the title. If you analyze the poem, read the poem, you can understand that there are two figures. One is a human being and the other one is a supernatural figure. Is not a human being. So the man and the ghost. One is a human being, the other one is a ghost, one is a real, the other one is invisible. Those are the two figures. So the real human being and the ghost, unreal, invisible character. Is there a relationship between the two in the poem? Is that what we are going to analyze first? When you read, you will understand that there is no such a relationship between the two. Instead, the man is trying to defeat the ghost, and the ghost is trying to defeat the man. There is a kind of a fight, a confrontation, an attack between the two. So there is no cordial relationship. There is no very strong bond between the two. There is a very hostile relationship. There is no friendship. There is a confrontation. Since there is a confrontation between the two, we can clearly say that the title is ironical. The title suggests the opposite of what you can see in the poem. In the poem, there is a confrontation, but the title suggests a friendship. So that is why we say the title Two's Company is ironical. Then let's have a look at the poem. In between the title and the poem, there's one line. What is it? The sad story of a man who did not believe in ghosts. This is what you call a cue. What does this cue tell us? It gives the main idea of the poem. It tells us the gist of the poem. What is the gist of the poem according to this line? The sad story of a man who did not believe in ghosts. To be a sad story, there should be a sad ending. Now let's look at it like this. There was a man, he did not believe in ghosts, there were no ghosts. Is it a sad story? No. There was a man, he did not believe in ghosts, and there were ghosts. Is it a sad story? For me, it's not a sad story. Then have a look at it like this. There was a man, he did not believe in ghosts. There was a ghost. One day, the man and the ghost met each other, where the ghost completely defeated the man. The man was completely defeated by the ghost. Then it becomes a sad story. So the sad story of a man who did not believe in ghosts gives the main idea of the poem. So what is the main idea of the poem? What is the gist of the poem? The poem is about a kind of a confrontation between man and a ghost. A man who did not be non-believer, who did not believe in ghosts, and there was a confrontation in the poem, and where the ghost completely defeated the man. So that is the main idea of the poem. Before we go into detail, let's have a look at the poem and see whether we can find the answers for these simple questions as you can see on the screen. They said that the house was haunted, visited by a ghost very often. That means there is a ghost in the house. But he laughed at them and said, "Tut, tut, I never heard such tittle tattle." He did not believe in ghosts. He says, okay, I never heard such ghost stories. Ghosts that groan. Groan means a kind of a fearful sound. And chains that rattle. And just to prove I am in the right, please leave me here to spend the night. The person who's introduced as he challenges the others and he says, okay, I want to prove you that there are no ghosts. Okay, see whether you can find the answers. What's wrong with the house? You can say, what's wrong with the house? There is a ghost in it. Rather than saying there is a ghost in it, I want you to be precise on your answer. So you can say, house is said to be haunted. That means the people say that there is a ghost in the house. The second question, why did the people refuse to live in that house? The people refused to live in that house because they believed that there was a ghost in it. Does he believe in ghosts? No, not at all. How did he react towards the ghost stories? He humiliated them. He laughed at the ghost stories. What does he want to prove? He wants to prove that there are no ghosts. How did he challenge the people? He challenged the people that if he is given a chance, he would prove that there are no ghosts. Then let's have a look at the second stanza. They left him as the dusk was falling. In the evening, dusk means evening, he was left there. With hunchback moan and screech owl calling. In the evening, an owl is calling. An owl is calling. But what's that? Outside it seemed as if chains rattled and someone screamed. What happened? Outside there was a kind of a ghostly behavior. There was a kind of a ghostly behavior. Let's see whether we can find the answers for these questions. How did they react towards his challenge? He gave a challenge. So what did they do? They gave him the chance to prove that there are no ghosts. What time was it? It was the evening. What can you say about the atmosphere? The atmosphere is very fearful. The darkness is falling and a fearful atmosphere is generated by the writer. What did he experience that evening? That evening, he experienced something that he never wanted to experience. That he never wanted to experience. That was the ghostly happening. A kind of a presence of a ghost. That is what he never expected. Come, it's merely nervous. He's certain. He was certain that there are no ghosts, but at the same, he draws the curtain. The stroke of 12, but there's no clock. All the ghostly happenings takes place in the next two stanzas. Please read the next two stanzas and see whether you can answer these questions. He shuts the door and turns the lock. Of course, he knows that no one is there, but no harm's done by taking care. Someone's outside, silly joker. He may as well pick up the poker. He hears the sound of somebody who's outside. Then what does he do? He picks up the poker. So that means he gets a kind of a weapon to attack the person who's there outside the place. And the next stanza reveals us the noise again. He checks the door, shutters the window, makes a pose to seek the safest place to hide. The cupboard is strong, he creeps inside. Not that there is anything to fear, he tells himself. And when at his ear a voice breathes softly, "How do you do? I am a ghost. Pray, who are you?" What happens? A ghost appears. And he was defeated by the ghost. Right? Okay, let's have a look at these questions. What did he feel after facing some fearful incidents? He began to lose his confidence. Then, what did he decide to do? He decided to face the situation with a lot of courage. But when he lost the courage, he gave up. He decided to go for a safer place to hide. What was the safest place according to him? The cupboard. What's wrong with the place that he had found hide? There was a ghost in that place. How do you contrast his behavior at the beginning of the poem and in the end? At the beginning, he gave the challenge. He was pretty confident. In the end, he lost his confidence. At the beginning, he was overconfident, and in the end, he had completely lost his confidence. Now, there are certain sounds that he hears when he is there inside the house. What are his reactions? Let's have a look at the poem and observe his reactions towards different sounds that he hears at different intervals. First, he heard the sound that someone screamed. What did he do? Come, it's merely nervous. So he did not take it very serious. He became excited, but he did not take it serious. Stroke of 12 without a clock. Then, what did he do? He shutters the door and closes the windows. Someone outside. Then he takes the poker to attack him. Then finally, when the noise is heard again, he goes inside the cupboard. So, the sounds he heard and his reactions at different sounds reveal us one important thing. Those reactions reveal us the way how he continued to lose his confidence. One after the other, he began to lose his confidence, and finally he lost his confidence completely, and he became one like you and I. We all believe in ghosts, even if there are ghosts or not, because sometimes we feel shocked when we hear a sound at night. So that is the human nature. So finally this non-believer became a person like you and I. Let's have a look at the poem in detail. We'll try to analyze the poem and try to understand the poem and try to get a deeper meaning of the poem as well. They said that the house was haunted. When you read the first two lines of the poem, you can understand that the narrator divides the human beings in the society into two categories. One, they. The other, he. They said that the house was haunted. He laughed at them and said, that means there are two groups of people in the society. One, they, the believers of ghosts. The other, he, the non-believers. In the poem, there are many believers and there is one non-believer. He is introduced as a person who does not believe in ghosts, who does not believe that there are ghosts. Right? Do we believe that there are ghosts? It is up to you. Some of you might believe, some of you might not. And even I do not believe that the ghosts do exist. But we don't know. Sometimes they might. Because it is not something which has been proven yet. It has not been proven that either there are ghosts or there are not. So here in the poem, the writer divides the people into two categories as believers and non-believers. He laughed at them. What did he say? He laughed at the people, those who believed him. He laughed at two. One, he laughed at the people, those who believe in ghosts. The other, he laughed at the idea that the ghosts exist. So his laughter, his humiliation is targeted at two things. One, he targets the believers. He targets the believers and humiliates them. Then gives us the idea that there are ghosts. So what he says is, he firmly believes that there are no ghosts at all. There are no ghosts. He laughed at them. So he humiliated them and said, I never heard such tittle tattle. Look at this. I never heard. So it shows his strong confidence. He's very confident. He very confidently says that there are no ghosts at any cost. There are no ghosts at all. He laughed at them. I never heard such tittle tattle. Ghosts that groan and the chains that rattle. So he laughs at them. He humiliates them. He humiliates the people and he humiliates their beliefs. And just to prove I am in the right, please leave me here to spend the night. So what does he say? He gives a challenge to the non-believers. He says, you are timid. You are afraid of ghosts. You have no confidence. You are very timid. You. Give me a chance. Give me just one chance. Give me an opportunity. So I'll show you that the ghosts do not exist. It is just an idea that you have in your mind. So the narrator is overconfident. He divides the people into two, believers and non-believers. And then he very confidently says that there are no ghosts. And he humiliates the ghosts. He challenges the people, those who believe. He was pretty confident about himself. So that is why he gave the challenge to the non-believers that he would prove that there are no ghosts. There is no ghost in this particular house and there are no ghosts at all. At the same time, he is trying to emphasize that the non-believers are very timid and they have no confidence at all. So this contrasts with his bravery. He is very brave and the non-believers are very timid. So that is what he tries to emphasize at this moment. Stanza shows the gap between believers and non-believers. The non-believer is very confident. He knows that there are no ghosts. But believers are very timid and they accept that there are ghosts. And they are not in a position to show their confidence to the others. The house which is said to be haunted is the place that the non-believer wants to stay in order to prove that there are no ghosts. So in the second stanza, he was given the chance. The non-believer was given the chance by the others. අර මේක ළමයිගේ වචන වලින් කියනවා නම් අර නිකන් ඉල්ලන් කෑමක් වගේ. නේද? ඔව් මම ඔප්පු කරන්නම් මම ඔප්පු කර I can do it, I can show you. That is what he said. And the believers had no other option. They had to give him the opportunity to show what he wanted to prove. They left him as the dusk was falling. At what time did they leave this man in this house? In this house which is said to be haunted? They left him when the darkness was falling. We know that darkness is associated with evil spirits. Darkness is capable of creating fear in every individual's mind, especially when you are alone. If you are alone, that generates fear and it shakes your confidence. They left him as the dusk was falling, the darkness was falling, with hunchback moon and screech owl calling. So the moon is there, the darkness is there. That means this is a moment which is very much suitable for the ghosts. Darkness, hunchback moon and screech owl calling. What does the writer do? The writer generates a very fearful atmosphere at the time when they left him in this house which is said to be haunted. Dust was falling, screech owl calling, hunchback moon. They generate fear in the person, non-believer's mind. It also generates fear in the reader's mind as well. We also feel afraid. When we read the poem, we also feel afraid because the writer generates a gothic atmosphere. Darkness, fearfulness is generated by the writer. So it makes a gothic environment, screech owl calling. And at that time, what did he hear? He heard something which he never expected to hear. What did he hear? But what is that? Outside, it seemed as if chains rattled and someone screamed. "Yeah!" Somebody shouted. So this is what he did not accept at the beginning. At the beginning, he had completely refused the idea of a presence of a ghost in this house. But now, when he tried to prove that there are no ghosts, he began to experience something which he never expected. Suddenly, somebody shouted. Maybe a person or maybe a ghost. Just imagine what would have happened if we were there. Just imagine you or I or we were there in this place. If we were in his shoes, what would we have done? We are very confident, but this darkness, screech owl calling, hunchback moon, and suddenly the screaming of a person might generate fear in our mind. So as the non-believer's mind as well. But the non-believer is very confident. So I'm sure that according to these two stanzas, he is still ready to combat the situation. He is not a person who is ready to give up easily. This is a very important moment in this poem. In the first stanza, the writer prepares the atmosphere for him to give an open challenge to the believers. In the second stanza, the challenge was accepted by the believers and he was given the chance to prove. And in the next two stanzas, we are going to study what happened to this non-believer.